thank God for being here today. I thank you, Dr. Reverend Pastor Dudley Chapman. Thank you. Thank you so much for allowing me here today. Thank you, Pastor Neil, and thank you, all you members of the Greater Community Baptist Church. And I thank God. I thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord. Thank you for making this opportunity available for me. Thank you for giving me my life back, Lord, that I would be here today, to be here in front of these people. Thank you, Lord. Well, some of you have heard my testimony. Some of you haven't. Most of you haven't. So I really relish this opportunity to come and share it with you. I wasn't always a rebel. I didn't always live my life for Jesus. Most of my life, I didn't. I was on drugs for 31 years. 31 long years of drug abuse. Cocaine, marijuana. I drank scotch. Had a lot of girlfriends, as you can probably imagine. My whole life was filled with sin. Everything about me was sinful. Everything I did in nature was sinful. I was living a life of sin. Every morning I woke up, I thought about how and what I would have to do today to get high. See, I loved getting high. I lived for getting high. Everything about me involved getting high. And the reason I want to emphasize this today is because there's grandmothers and there's grandfathers and there's mothers and fathers and daughters and sons that know somebody in their family, somebody they've been praying for, that's been addicted to drugs. And I know what you're going through, but you just keep praying for them. Because as you're about to hear, God will move and God will deliver your children, your people, your relatives. He will. He did it for me. He'll do it for them. Amen? 31 years I was high. I could not stop. I even became a reverend back in 98 because just deep down inside I knew that I couldn't go on living this way. And I used to pray every day, Lord, don't come today, because I know what I'm going to be doing today. And I figured if he come while I'm high, I was heading straight to hell. So I used to pray, Lord, give me warning, don't come while I'm high. But see, I couldn't stop getting high. That's what I did. That was my life. I was so past addiction, there was no program that was going to get me off of drugs. The only time you would find me sober is when I was asleep or in jail. Yeah, I've been in jail. I got as many felonies as Jesus has disciples, minus the devil. 11 felonies. Amen? I was in the jailhouse so much the sheriff knew. You back again? Yeah. And I couldn't stop. If I was in jail, you couldn't get to the drugs. So naturally, I would be without the drugs while I was serving my sentence. But you see, I was plotting and planning the whole time I was sober in these jailhouses because I knew the moment I got out, the moment I got released, I'd be high. I didn't need money. I had very few friends, but the friends I had were drug dealers. I couldn't pay credit card bills. I couldn't pay my rent. I couldn't pay the phone bill. But I'm going to pay my dealers. And my dealers knew it. And I had long, many-year type relationships with my dealers. And I say dealers because if you don't have any, I got somebody else I can call. So I would have a line on them. And I would steal so much stuff that a dealer couldn't keep up with me. I had to have been the only drug addict in the back of this San Fernando Valley that drug dealers owed me. I didn't owe the drug dealers. Most of the time, they owed me hundreds of dollars. And I didn't mind because I knew one day I'm going to come down. I'm going to run out of dope, and that's when I'm going to call you. See? So it was serious. The reason I'm telling you all this because I just want you to know the power of God. There was no help for me on this earth but Jesus. I could not stop. And after that I became a reverend, I promised the Lord, I said, Lord, I won't let it get so bad that I can't serve you. And I'll serve you during the day, but at night I got to do my thing. And I'm sure he had him a couple of angels by his side. And he just probably grinned and laughed. Said, did you hear what my child just told me? I told him, Lord. I said, Lord, I was a drug addict when you called me. And how can I be anything but? So you're just going to have to put up with me. That must have got a big laugh in heaven. At any rate, I figured by becoming a reverend, that would stop me from going to hell. You see? How could God put one of his own in hell? So maybe this would help me. And I'd go out, and I'd go on these faith walks, and I'd go all over the country, wherever he'd send me, and many miracles would follow. We'd go to hospitals, and people would get saved, people would get delivered. I mean, just miracle healings right in front of my eyes. It was just amazing to me how powerful and how loving God was. I don't know these people, but he would send me to them, and they were waiting for a miracle. One hospital I went to, the nurse had said, I just said the prayer 30 seconds ago. You must be sick like God. There was a little baby born without an immune system, and God healed him. It was amazing, the walks. But you see, I couldn't stay out there serving the Lord because of that addiction. You see, I wanted to serve him. I wanted to give him my all. I wanted to live the way this word says to live. But I'd look at this word and I'd say, well, thou shalt not steal. Well, I got to steal to get high. You know how much dope I do? That one can't be for me. And I got to eliminate this one because I certainly can't do that one because once I get high, I'm going to do that. And then I found out I couldn't do this. I couldn't live this word the way I was. You see, I was in bondage. I was undelivered. I was trying the best I could on my own strength. And in my heart, the Lord knows, I wanted to give my whole life to him. I wanted to serve him. But I was just too far along addicted. 31 years. I mean, if I didn't get high, my body went into shakes and everything else. I had to get high. I called it my medicine. I didn't feel right till I got high. So what would happen is I'd race back to California. And I'd get high a couple of weeks. Then I'd go back out for a few months serving the Lord. And then I'd come back to California, get high. And pretty soon it started reversing. I'm not doing too much going out, but doing a whole lot of getting high. Pretty soon I stopped going out. And one Saturday night, it was August 7th, 2005, I was getting high. I had just woke up. My dealer had just left. I had a big old sack of cocaine and a big old sack of weed. And I was preparing to get high. I was not high yet. Okay, a lot of people have heard my testimony and said, oh, no, you was high. No, I wasn't high yet. I was about to get high. I had just cooked half of this sack of cocaine and made a big old rock. I fired it up, took that first hit and sat down to feel that high. And a light appeared in the room right next to me. And I could see the figure of Jesus in this light. And he spoke to me. And I heard his voice. Blew the right eye. And he said, I'm sick of you. And I'm not taking any more from you. He said, you put another drug in that body. And you will condemn your soul to hell forever. And you know that I'm a God that cannot lie. So if I say you've condemned your soul to hell, you've done it. And there's nothing I can do to change it. Put another drug in that body, and you will condemn your soul to hell. He said, you do it. You can go to Pastor Parsley, T.D. Jakes, Pastor Hubbard. You can go anywhere on this planet. You can preach for the rest of your life. You are still going to hell. So now I just scored. I'm looking at this dope on the table. And I look back at Jesus. And I said, why I said this, I'll never know. I said, Lord, I understand what you're telling me. I understand. Could we start this program after I finish this dope on the table? He grabbed me. Took me with two fingers right here on this elbow. I wish he'd have burned his fingerprints into my elbow so I could show you. Okay? He grabbed me by this elbow. I can still feel it today. His touch. grabbed me by this elbow, and in the twinkle of an eye, we were in hell. It's a pit so long, you cannot see the end. Like you can see where the valley ends because you got mountains there. You can't see the end of hell. That's how big it is. We're coming in the air. Him holding my elbow, we're floating in the air, and we're coming into this pit of hell. The Bible describes it as eternal darkness. You can't even imagine this kind of darkness because it doesn't get that dark here on earth. You have to lock yourself in a safe and close the door to see this kind of darkness. It's dark. So dark you can barely see. And as we're coming into this cave, I just want you to know there's nothing that man has ever made in hell. There's nothing. There's no metal. There's no bars. There's none of that. It's just cave walls and what appeared to be flames like little candles burning, millions of them, throughout the cavern walls. And it was so far away, the end, that I couldn't even see it. Now the smoke, we're up in the air coming into hell. The smoke was so thick and so black and so dark coming up from that lake of fire that I couldn't even see the lake of fire. I knew we were above it because the rocks down near the bottom of this cave were glowing red from that lake of fire, but I could not see that lake of fire. That's how thick and black that smoke is. It's hard to see in hell. The air in hell is so hot, it's very difficult for you to breathe. You can't take a breath like you do on earth. No, you're not going to do that because it's so hot, it burns your lungs. Just singes them. You got to take little breaths. Little breaths. That air is so hot in hell. And as we're coming in, okay, I can see what appears to be millions of candles dotting the walls of this cave. And as we got closer, you ever look at a candle, and if you stare at it long enough and the flame flickers, you can actually see the wick right through the flame. Well, as I was looking at this one thing I thought to be a candle, that flame moved and I saw it. Those weren't candles at all. Those are people. People screaming like you've never screamed before. I'm telling you, you're fully inflamed in fire from your toes to the top of your head. No clothes. You're completely naked. And no hair anywhere on your body. And you're totally engulfed in flames. Now let me tell you something about that. Naked here on earth might look one way. Naked in hell does not look that way. It looks like something out of a horror movie. These people, as I was soon about to find out, you're just hanging on this wall. And you're on fire. You are the fire. It's not like you're in a fire. You are the fire. A pastor I had explained that to told me, that's because you condemn yourself. That's what makes you the fire. Well, let me tell you, I'm looking at all these people burning. In hell, everyone's screaming. Everyone's screaming. There's a misconception here on earth. People have deceived themselves as to what hell is and what's going to be going on down there. There's people here who believe there's going to be a party down there in hell. I'm here to tell you, there is no party going on. I heard a young boy tell me, I don't care about going to hell. All my friends going. And you're not going to be talking to your friends? You can't even recognize your friends. People have asked me, did you see anybody you recognize? How would I know? Everybody down there is naked, bald-headed, and on fire. I haven't seen you like that here on earth. Well, how would I know what you look like that way in hell? You are not concerned. You are totally not concerned about who else is down there once that fire gets on you. I'll continue and then you'll understand. So, the screams, that's what I could hear. The screams. It's the most ghastly sound you'll ever hear. And I pray none of you will hear it. Like a choir, a 200-voice choir singing praises to the Lord. You hear all those voices. Yeah, they're in unison in hell, but they're not singing a song. It's just millions and millions of voices screaming all at the same time. All at the same time, and it's ugly. It's an ugly scream. See, here on earth, you might try to disguise that pain because there might be women around. You don't want to be embarrassed, so you'll bite the bullet and just tell them you're in pain and you've been shot or whatever, and you're trying to suppress it. It's an ugly scream. That scream in hell is so ugly. There's snot coming out of your nose and spit coming down your chin. You don't care anymore. You are screaming at the top of your lungs as hard and as long as you can. And that's the kind of screams I'm hearing, millions of them, all at the same time. It was a ghastly sound. And then the Lord said, now look, there you are. And he pointed. And I'm looking in that flame, and there's somebody look just like me. And he said, now get in that body and see what you're thinking. And I thought to look back at him to ask him, see what I'm thinking? What does that mean? See what I'm thinking. I was in that body, just like that. Didn't have a chance to even ask him. I found out when I hit that body. That body was so hot. He told me I'd been there 200 years. Never really quite understood that until just a few months ago. I'll explain that later, my 200 years in hell. He said, you've been here 200 years. Get in that body. See what you're thinking. When I hit that body, it was so hot. I'm telling you, see, you're getting a new glorified body. Everybody is. Everybody's going to heaven and getting a new glorified body. It's just everybody's not staying. You are going to live forever somewhere. And there's only two places you can go, this Bible says. Either you're going to heaven or you're going to hell. There is no in between. There is no other place. Now, this new body that you're going to get in hell doesn't have a shock system. Here on earth, if you're in an accident, the car flips over 16 times and you end up in the hospital, wake up, and the nurse tells you all the things that happen to you, you don't even know. When that pain first started, your body went into shock and you went into unconsciousness. You never felt it. They're telling you how blessed it is that you're still alive and showing you pictures of their vehicle and what it looked like. And they had to cut you out. But let me tell you, there's no shock system in hell. You are going to feel every bit of it. And I did, from my toes to the top of my head, of that fire. And it's excruciating. And it doesn't go out. You cannot get this fire off of you. There's no break times. There's no rest periods. There's no eating. It's just constant pain. And it increases by the moment. It's like somebody's got their hand turning up that fire by the moment. Now, the Bible has stated that tomorrow will be worse than today. But I'm here to tell you, it's from moment to moment. 10 seconds ago ain't as bad as it is right now. You see? I'm in that hot body. I'm trying to describe to you this pain because, see, there isn't a word in the English language or any other language to describe the pain of hell. Because nobody's ever gone there, felt it, and came back and told it. So I had to just, for lack of a better word, I call it supernatural pain. Because there is no other way to describe it. If you stuck your arm in a pizza oven and left it there until the skin melted off your bones, that's nothing. That is nothing compared to the pain of hell. That's why I know and I am convinced in my heart that there is nothing that can happen to you in this life, on this earth. I don't care what they're doing to you, how bad it is. There is nothing worse than going to hell. You can get through this, and if you don't, you'll die and go to heaven. There is nothing. I'm going to say it again. There's absolutely nothing that you can't endure on this earth as bad as going to hell. That is the worst of it, being in hell. Now, I'm in this body. You're just like you are sitting there in these pews, sitting there at home. You got all your thoughts, all your memories. It's you. But now you're on fire. You see? That's why even though there's millions of people down there in hell, it had nothing to do with you. It's like you're in your own private hell. Because you're in this pain, in this misery. Okay? And regardless of what's happening over there on that side of the cave, who cares? It's about me and getting this fire off of me. So it's like your own individual hell, even though there's millions of people down there. And I'm telling you, from here to the back of this church, there was nobody close to me.